Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and look what we have here today. A 1978 Ingersoll Battle Command, a programmable electronic TV game. It's like a Pong game, but you can change cartridges on it, because the old systems back in the 70s, a lot of them had just the games built into it, and then you would select them on the console itself. But this one allows you to put in different games. For example, we have one here, Stunt Cycle, and this one here is Super Sport. And then on Super Sport, there would be 10 different games, but they're all going to be Pong related. In other words, it might be like squash, so it might be like two players against a wall where the ball bounces off. Another one might be football, where it has to go across to each other. Anyway, I bought it from eBay as faulty. It's in lovely condition considering it's 48 years old, and it's so nice to see the box as well. Check out what it's doing on the TV. Not a lot, but when I tune it in, I can get something to be a little bit different. Who remembers this TV here? What a little beauty, Japanese. Lovely little curved switch here. Now, as you can see there, it's fuzzy. Ignore those little flickering bits that you're seeing going on. That's because it's a CRT and the refresh rate looks weird on this camera here. But if I turn it on with my eyes, I can see it does something different. I'm not sure if that's coming across in the... Yes, it is. There you go. It's coming across in the camera as well. So it looks like I am tuned in and it's doing something, but I'm not getting anything. And it was sold as no display. Also, what's weird is I haven't got any volume. So forget about the volume on the TV. The volume comes out of this itself. Normally, when you turn these on, even without having a picture on here, you will hear a boop, boop, as it's doing something, or when you first of all turn it on. So it's either completely dead or the speaker might be gone as well. Some really nice things. Have a look at this box here. What kid will not have liked that in 1978, 1979, 1980? Look at it. I love the graphics on these old things here. Looking at this here, obviously the games look nothing like that, but that's just marketing to make you buy the game, but somehow it does work. I think it's absolutely lovely. And also, you'll like this as well. We have things like this, a guarantee with it, and they've actually changed the price on it. So I presume as inflation was hitting year after year, probably quite high in the 70s, end of the 70s. I think inflation was actually very high then because interest rates were high. But you can see they've changed it to £3.45, £3.45. So I don't know what it would have started off as, maybe £3. Well, mind you, no, they've changed to 3 as well. So maybe it was £2 something. That might be how much inflation was changing in those years. And this is lovely. Whether it's going to help me or not, I'm not sure. But it actually has a circuit diagram included. Electronic computerized colour video game. And we have a circuit diagram with it, which is just lovely. So let's bring it over to the mat, take it apart, and see what's happening. It'd be nice if we could get this 48-year-old machine working again. Now, I have already done a video on one of these quite a while back, so I still have it somewhere, so I could pull it out, and maybe, if it's still working, I could check for different readings between the two of them, and it might help me fault find this one. First things first, we are going to test the adapter. It says on the bottom here 9 volts, and it's only needs 150 milliamps, which is tiny. This can also be operated on batteries as well. So 6 what look like C batteries, I think. 13.9 volts, but it's not under load, so it's probably going to be near a 9 volts under load. Or maybe this can accept a wide range of voltages. So let's take it apart and see if we can learn anything from it. Looks like it's chewed up here, so it might have been apart sometime in its life. Using my special screwdriver, and it works. Model XK1010. Amazingly, the foam is still intact. What's that about? After 48 years, normally that goes completely brittle. Oh, there we go. Right now. Right, so one of the battery ones have come off there, but that's not going to make it not work. In fact, let me just take a picture of that and then we can unsolder it, and I can solder it up properly later. because we've been using the adapter. And it looks like it's correct because the black is on the negative there. Right, so let's ignore this for the moment. Now, the speaker is not connected on either of them. What's that about? That's odd. Also, it looks like the wire. Oh, how did that happen? Whoops! I didn't even feel anything. Must have been when I pulled it apart. My hands are super thin at the moment. I've been doing a lot of work around the house, and I think the barrier to my skin's gone. So I just need to tap something, and I just bleed. I've been wearing gloves like Mickey Mouse around the house to try to protect my hands at night, cover them in Vaseline. There we go, less unsightly. Now, I was just saying, it looks like that's been trapped. Can you see the grey wire there? Looks like it's been trapped. It's strange how they've both come off. Mind you, that feels like it's about to break there as well. Where do you go to? I think there. That looks like one. This is going to be a little bit challenging. Where do I even... I mean, I could get the other one out that I fixed before and have a look there. Let's zoom in. Oh, maybe there. Let's zoom in and see if we can work out what's what. So I presume that's going to be one. And I think there, because why have we got a wire across there? There. I mean, what's the other side of that? Maybe that capacitor. Okay, I'm going to solder it on there and there, and we'll see then if we have any sound, because then we know we just have to fault find the display side of things. I wonder if I take this out, will there be less pressure on it? Let's just see if the speaker itself is still okay. So it's 8 ohm, 0.25 watt. Yes, 8 ohms, so I think the speaker is intact. So I'm going to redo that wire there. So I resoldered the wire because it looks a bit iffy, and then I solder it to the board. I'm not sure which way the wires go round, but I'm just putting it onto those 2 points. There's only one speaker, so it shouldn't make a difference to the sound. If there was 2 speakers, then maybe one will be pushing out as the other one's pulling in, if you get the polarity different. But on this one here, there's only one speaker, so it shouldn't make any difference. Right, let's now turn it on and see if we have any sound now. Just make sure it doesn't go in the wrong way. No. Oh, it's got an up arrow as well. Right, so that's off. So we should be able to hear a beeping going on. Right, plug that in. Oh, there we go. There we go. Brilliant. So the brain of it's working. Fantastic. Right, let's bring it into the room now. I mean, we didn't have a picture. All I've done is solder that on. But clearly it's, you know, you can hear the brains working now. Let me just see if the volume is doing something. Yeah. Right. It is. Let's go into the other room now and see what's happening. Let's just make sure that the cable, this cable here is, oh well, there we go. There we go, look at that. That's why we haven't got a picture. Let me zoom in and play along at home. So we've got this cable here, yeah, this is the RF cable, and it comes up this black cable here. So have a look around and see if you can see anything. So you can see that we have a middle wire here with insulation around it, and then the braid. So the braid is connected. Looks a little bit verdigris, you know, when copper goes damp. But look, that's not connected either. So where are you supposed to go to? Is it that little lump of solder there? Well, that's why we haven't got a picture. Oh, there we go, ground and video. Ground video, so we need to... Oh, maybe that just means that's ground and that's video. I mean, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Because look, if we put this here, does that fit there nicely? Not really, seems to be a bit under strain. Oh, maybe it's this one here. I think we need a bit more room because I can't even properly read what's going on in here. It looks like we've got loads of solder points. I don't know if it's that one or that one. Should that be video or is that just glue? That might be just glue. Not sure. Let's make a little bit more room for ourselves. But I don't think this is going to be anything too major. So if I was to undo this and this, that will hopefully pull that apart there. Even that looks like it's burnt through a little bit there. And that's for the power jack. When it was being soldered in the factory, maybe. So I'm thinking back then, this would have all been... Would this have been hand soldered? Maybe. Right, that's going to want to come away there. But this is all connected to here. Let's take out that cartridge. That's not going to want to come away. Right, I'm going to undo these screws here on the corners. I think there's a big hole here because there's another screw in here. Oops. Right, that was a volume slider. Maybe all these have to come off. No, maybe it's just a volume slider. Yes. Okay, that's nice. Novex. Oh, it's like a letterbox, isn't it? I used to do a paper round for years. The free papers that you get in the, I don't know, it used to be Thursday evening or something. But instead of being styling and having a bag, I used to have a granny's trolley. And that used to get me in all sorts of bother because there was a skate park near me, and of course everybody used to go past and take the mick out of the granny's trolley because I was like 13 or something. Used to get nicked a couple of times and I'd have to give chase. If I'd go into flats, I'd come back and my trolley'd be missing. Right. Okay, I think I have to undo this and this. This looks just like a kind of Mega Drive cartridge. Yes, now I'm making progress. Yes, I am done. So there's, oh look at that, that's missing. I was thinking that didn't undo. Can you see that has a little post underneath it, underneath the hole, while that post has gone to one side. So that needs to be realigned here. I wonder, was that missing from the factory? Or was that, you know, was that somebody had taken it apart? I have to remember to put that back in. Right, now where are we? We're here. So let's zoom in and see if we can work out what's going on here. So we have ground minus, then it says like a plus, but then it says video minus. Plus there. So that looks factory. That looks like it's covered still in like a wax. That looks like a wax. I think it has to be that one because that's the only bit of metal, even though it is covered with a wax, that's the only bit of metal that's exposed here. So I presume that was going round there. Weirdly though, it looks like it's designed for that one, not there. Do you know what I mean? It looks like it's under a lot of strain. What we'll do is, let's see if we have continuity between them. They might be on the same track. Let me just see. No. Oh, they are. No, they're not. They're 42 ohms. Yeah, okay, so that's ground as well. So that's the same as that. I'll just zoom out to show you. So the circuit there must be 42 ohms. Let's just go on to ohms so you don't have to hear that noise. So if I go between here and here, you're going to see we have like 40 something ohms. 38 ohms. If I touch my leads together, my meter right now is 1 ohm. If I go between here and here, we will also have 38 ohms. And if I go between here and here, we're going to have 3 ohms. Whoops. There you go. One ohm, not 3 ohms. So it looks like we could also put the negative to there and then the positive to there. So now we know that that one there is the one. So let's burn off some of that wax and try to resolder that. I don't think I need to strip it back. Or should we make it fresh? Let's get the fresh because this has all gone a little bit green. Let's start new. We've got loads of slack, haven't we? Let's chop here. And let's get rid of this. There we go. And let me burn that away there. Get rid of that wax. Let me get a little bit of tissue paper to try to suck up the wax a bit. I know it's going to burn, but hopefully it will suck as well. Oh, I should say don't copy what you see in my videos. Obviously this could go on fire. There we go, look at all that wax getting sucked up. Right, there we go, that should be a little bit cleaner. I have got a fire extinguisher underneath my leg and a fire blanket as well. It's very close to that resistor. Here we go. Right, let's strip this back here. I want to go back to the copper that looks fresh, not this horrible green stuff. There, you can see the difference there. Look at that, it goes from green to gold. Look at that. Right, so let's strip back a bit more. So I suppose it's just been 48 years of being exposed has just caused some oxidation. I don't think water's got in here. Also, I wonder, has the wax had an effect on it? Because years ago I did a metal detector and I think it started working once I removed the wax. There was water damage everywhere, but it still wasn't working, and then I removed the wax and it started to work. So I'm not sure if that wax can become a bit conductive over time. Right, so let's remove the end of this because it's horrible. There we go. Now we're going to cut off that stuff there. That's much better. Look how clean that is. Right, we don't need that much. So we're going to go here. So I need about half that there. And it isn't airspace, this is solid, it looks like. So I'm going to try to cut around it without nicking the inside bit. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's not, I was expecting that to be solid. It's not solid on the inside, it's stranded core. So if we were to go here and here, is that good enough? Not really. I think I need a little bit more. There we go. Right, so I've got to make sure that none of these strands hit that strand there. So let's solder them up. And I'm just going to bend this round, like so. Let's get that onto here without touching that resistor. There. Now let's get this onto here. There we go. Now, to give it some strength, I think I am going to try to glue that. It's not bending as much as I wanted it to because I've put too much solder on that. Hold on now. It's a bit of a kink there. I'm going to unsolder that in a minute. Right, I want it more like that, so let's cut some of that back and I'm going to glue it. It scared me, I thought I was going to get burnt. Okay, and I'm going to glue it along here, there, and cover it all in hot glue. That way then it's not going to be under any strain. Imagine now if this was all SMD, how much less room it would take up. I mean, look at all these resistors. Interestingly, it looks like each of them have been painted with the legs. Would that be possibly to stop shorting against other ones? All the legs seem to be painted. That one's not, but all the others here look like the paint's gone right the way around. Right, you can see now that's not going to go anywhere. So let's zoom out. Let's see now. We should have that 36 ohms on the actual cable itself, as long as the rest of the cable is all right. So if we go between here and here. Oh, that's nice. They've soldered the end of that as well. There you go. 37 ohms. So we wouldn't have had that before because the middle conductor, the central conductor, wasn't there. Let's bring this into the other room as it is now and see if we have a display, because we know we've got sound. Let's see if we now have a display as well. Also, I might be curious just to take this apart quickly, just to give it a little clean. The game is part off it, meaning that I don't think this works. It wouldn't make any beeps or anything if the game's not connected. Now, can I take this out without? Yes, I can. Very clean. And look at that, you have two little pots here to adjust, two potentiometers to adjust the left and right bat. I don't know whether that is the size. I presume it must be the size of them, which is quite clever. Oh, look at that, they've socketed the chip. How nice is that? That chip's on a socket. And we just have a big dollop. Is that to make the through hole? To go to there, maybe? Yeah, maybe the wires weren't. So maybe this hasn't got wires. So maybe they had to fill the holes with solder to enable the the connection between the boards. Anyway, it looks like there's plenty of solder everywhere, and that looks remarkably clean. I'm just going to give it a quick IPA clean because I haven't used my IPA in a while. My fingers won't be liking this. I'll try to keep it away from my skin. Let's see if there's anything. Not really. Very clean. A tiny bit. And that looks immaculate here as well. Middle one looks different than all the others. Right, let me get a little bit off some sort of cardboardy stuff. Bit of the Gorilla Grip glue here. I think that's fine. Right, let's test this now in the other room. Right, here we go. Let's see what's going to happen. Plug the aerial in and plug this in here. Oh, hold on. Where's... I don't know what's off and on. Let's just see what's going to happen. Right, so that's on. Hold on, let me turn it off. Turn this on. It's just warming up. There we go. Now, are you going to work for the first time in possibly 40 years? Come on. Okay. Right, we still do not have anything. But we've now got a nice screen, but we don't have anything. Why is it not making the noise though? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Yes! It's quite clean. That's not bad at all. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure why it didn't come alive. That's a very, very clean picture. Right, now, joysticks. Let's plug the joysticks in and see if these fellas are working. Remember, this TV is a black and white TV. I think. Yeah, it's a black and white TV, yeah. Right, let's plug this in. There we in now. Okay, so this is working. Where's the... Oh, the black one's here. Right, let's plug the black one in. There. Now, black one is here. Right, it won't allow me to go to the bottom of the screen. Well, this... Right, that goes bottom top. Okay, so I've got full range there on the white. Can you see up, down, left, right, diagonals, so I can cover the whole screen. It feels so... it does centre though. It feels so weird. Like not really sprung, like you're bending plastics. Right, okay. Now this one. There. No, this is not allowing me to go further than that on the screen. I wonder, is that what the bat adjust is? Let's do reset. Whatever reset is, here you go. Reset. Now, let's just see. Is buttons work? Oh, now it goes white. That's clever. Did you see that? So now this is the white one. So the ball changes colour. I mean, come on, that's good. Right, okay. So you can see it's working, but we have a problem with this one here. So what we're going to do is, it might not be an actual problem with the joystick. It might be something to do with the game, you know, that bat size. So let's turn this off for a second. Whoops. Apologies. Now, I can't believe how clear that picture is. So we are now going to unplug this one. So this is the suspected faulty one. So it's unusual, there's just loads of little faults on this one. Nothing, you know, nothing overly major. So now let's swap this one to here and see if it's doing the same thing, because maybe we need to adjust the game rather than the joystick. Okay, let's see now if the white one is acting weird. So turn on and go to 1. There we go. Right, so, right, yeah, it's the joystick. I can't go further than that down. And let's see if the black one has full movement. Oh no, I can't go further than that. What's going on? I can't get to the bottom of the screen on that one either. No, so I couldn't get that. Hold on. Apologies, it's hard to do this with one person. Bounces off the back wall as well. Right, I'm going to mess with this bat adjust thing, because it's weird. It's like the fault is, it's like they're both faulty now. So I think it might be that little screw terminal thing in there. Let's see what it does. Right, trusted screwdriver. Let's turn this back on and hit one of the buttons. Let's go to that one again. Just going to lower it down a bit. So the black one at the moment is tiny. Why is it suddenly got... Oh, I bet I'm on professional. There we go. So now it's bigger. Right, let's see what this does. Right, oh, there you go. Now it's gone off the screen. Right, let's see now. Are you going to the bottom? No, but you want to go off the top. Now, there we go. Look, I can go off the bottom. I'm not even sure if you can see this. Yes, you can. Right, so that's what it is. It's designed to do that. Maybe there's difference between the resistors and chips and stuff like that, that they had to build that into the game. Or difference in wear in the joysticks, or even the manufacture of the joysticks. Right, okay, so that's going all the way top and bottom now, which is fantastic. This one still isn't going lower than that. So now let's adjust this one and see if we can get it further than that. That's the lowest it will go at the moment. No, let me try the other way. Right, let me go all the way to there. No. There we go, that's gone more to the middle. Ah, so I think you just line it up so it's in the middle. Oh, do you know what it might be? It might be just calibrating the center point of it. So you can see now, if I just do this and this, they are slightly different. The black is slightly lower than the white. So why don't I, really we need to measure. But now you could do that. Yeah, they're not perfect. They don't center themselves perfectly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now it is perfect. So no, I'm not gonna mess with that. Anyway, you can see now the white one goes off the top of the screen and off the bottom, and the same with the black. Just gonna zoom in. Right, white one off the top and off the bottom, black one off the top and off the bottom, and we have all the movements there. Yeah, all movements. And how good is this? I've really enjoyed messing with this. There we go. Okay, just out of curiosity, I think I might have done this in my last video, I'm not sure. I'm going to put the console back together, but also I'm going to just take apart one of the joysticks just to see what the inside looks like, because I've forgotten. So I think that this is now working. Let's just go across some of the different games. So we have that. Do we have to press reset? Right, that one. Is that doing anything? Well, as you can see there, loads of the buttons not do anything. There should be 10 different games on this cartridge, and you press 1, 2, 3, 4 for all the different games. So first one might be squash, second one might be football, third one might be basketball, etc. But we haven't got that. We've only got about half the games on it. Loads of the buttons are not doing anything. So something isn't right. Also, apologies for the annoying sound. When I'm in the room with this in real life, the sound is actually nice. But through the microphone when editing this video back, the sound is absolutely horrendous. But I can't cut the sound out because I'm talking through lots of it and then you won't be able to hear me speak. Anyway, I don't think this console, it's still not working properly because some of these buttons don't appear to be doing anything. So let's bring it over to the mat and find out what's happening on the back of these buttons. Has the carbon worn away? Is there water damage to some of the tracks? What's causing some of these buttons to not do anything at all? Right now, so this is a ribbon cable that comes down from here to the board. So first things first, let's see if the solder joints look okay. Okay, so you can tell they're not the best, but they are soldered. So although I know I've just bent the top of that one, it's still connected here. I'm going to redo them, but that isn't the problem. Look at that. That's almost... Is that touching that? No, it's not. There. Let me redo all of them. You can see there, that doesn't look great, but it's still connected just here. So it's not that. I think it's probably going to be where the button presses on the, maybe condensation or something's got in underneath the actual buttons themselves. It's got that smell of old electronics, which I'm not going to lie is quite nice. Very nice. But I presume not good for you. Right, I think that's better. I'm just going to clean that up with some isopropyl alcohol. Right, they definitely look better and none of them are shorted. Okay. So now they go to here. You can see that the tracks here are all solder. Let's take off this. We need to get under these buttons at the front. So I'm going to undo all of these here. There we go. Ta-da! Right, they're immaculate. Unless the actual button presses themselves are playing up. I wonder, do they need a bit of a clean? And let's just go on these two here. No. Look at that, it looks like it was made for another button, but this is blanked out here. So the front part here is blanked out, but we do have another switch there. Well, there's no point in testing for continuity because that all looks perfect. I'm just wondering whether this could be causing an issue. These things down here, let's see how clean these are. Tiny, tiny little bit. I don't want to wipe the carbon off here though. I'm just going to go over with a dry Q-tip. I do notice some of them have holes in and others don't, just in case they're starting to fail. Shall we see if we can get an ohms reading between them, see if there's any difference? Because, for example, we know that this one here works. No, this side. So one definitely works, but then these ones didn't work. So let's just see if we can gently go on here. See if we get any reading. Right, so we get 600-ish ohms. Right, so about 600 ohms. Now let's go to one here. I don't think number 3 worked. 300 ohms. It's even better. 300 ohms. 400. 400. 400. Go back to here. 400. They're all the same. I wonder whether there was just. I wonder whether it's just going to work now. So I can't find anything wrong with it. Everything looks perfect. It's in really good condition. So I bring it back to the little TV and plug it in. It's the same thing. 1 and 2's working, 3 and 4's not working, 6 isn't working. Again, we only have half the games. So let's pick up the video a little bit later after I found my old Ingersoll console that I fixed up 2-3 years ago. Right, this is interesting. I got my other one out of the box that I fixed previously, and it also has the Super Sport one. Check this out. How amazing is this? All the games work. So it's a problem on the actual cart itself. I would have thought it was going to be a problem further into the circuit after the ribbon cable, but watch this. That's 1, 2, hopefully you can see that changing, 3, 4, 5 is also, so it's target practice for 1, then target practice for 2. 6 is basketball. 7 is soccer. I like the look of that one. This is called grid ball. Never heard of that. Basketball practice and practice. So they're all working. It's a game problem, which is pretty interesting. So just in case that was just some sort of weird fluke, let's quickly go back to this. And turn on again. Right, that's 1, 2, so that's different, but now nothing's happening on 3, nothing's happening on 4. So it's definitely a game issue. So let's take this apart and see what's different between this one and this one. So I'm just going to put a little sticker on this saying not working. Now, why are you working and you are not working? It shows you the importance of having spares or something working, because I would have been fault finding into the machine. See, where this is different than other consoles is the game's doing really all the heavy lifting. The console is just a way of displaying the game on the TV, and also a way for you to use the game with the controllers. So if you like, the kind of console's a bit more dumb and the game is the clever part. But because it wasn't working on different games within the game, I would have said it was an issue with the console, with the actual numbers. But clearly it's not, because one game is working perfectly. Now, I compare both of these and I go across all the resistors. They're all reading exactly the same. One of them doesn't have a resistor and the other one does. But saying that, when these left the factory, they would have worked. And it doesn't look like the resistor has been put in or removed by someone. It all looks original. So the only thing I think it must be is the chip. Now, luckily for me, the chips are socketed, so it's a really easy one to swap the chip over. So what I now do is take out both the chips and I swap them over. So now the good chip is going to be in the bad game, and the bad chip is going to be in the good game. Now we can plug them both back into the machine and see if the fault follows the chip. If the fault follows the chip, we know the chip is faulty. Personally, I won't be taking that any further. I'm sure you probably can buy these chips. I'm sure you would be able to reprogram them yourself if you were into that. Personally, I'm not. I've said it many times, I'm really just not into software stuff, so I've got no motivation to learn that kind of stuff. But yeah, someone like Gadget UK, Buy It Fix It, would have no problem being able to, I'm sure, dump the working chip and then put in the contents onto another spare chip that they would be able to buy. I know people do that with Mega Drive cartridges. Maybe these chips you can't buy, but I bet you can. So anyway, let's pick up the video now. When we're back in the other room, I've swapped the chips over and let's see if the fault follows the chip. Right, so this is the not working one with the known good chip. Known good chip in the not working one. Let's see what you're going to do. Right, you're in. Turn on. Right. 1, 2, 3, it's working. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, it's working. It's a chip issue. Let me zoom in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is just a 2-player version, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, there we have it. It's an issue with the chip. I suppose after 48 years, they're just breaking down on the inside. Let's put this back together. So the faults on it were, the speaker was disconnected, which was weird. The battery terminals were disconnected, but that didn't stop it from working. The aerial thing was disconnected, and just a central one. And the main chip on the actual cartridge has gone on some of the pins, not all the pins, but some of the pins. No, it's pointless. I was going to say I could resolder, but there's no point because I've swapped the chips. The soldering is done on the socket, so 100% it is the chip itself. So unless there was corrosion, which I will have a quick look, I'll have a quick look at the chip on this, just to see. Let's put this cartridge in, and just to see if the fault has followed it, because maybe now it would just start working. Maybe by putting it out and back in again, it's going to work. So 1, 2, no, nothing on 3, nothing on 4, 5 works, 6 doesn't, 7 does, 8 does, 9 does, and 10 doesn't. So yeah, it's definitely a chip problem. Okay, I'm going to put it back together. I'm going to have one quick look in here just to make sure the chip isn't tarnished. And then if it is, I'll show you either way on the video, but I'm just going to put this back together off camera, and then we can finish with a bit of gameplay. So I take out the faulty chip, and there is a fair bit of tarnish, but you'd expect that after all these years. There's no corrosion, it's just a little bit of tarnish. I should use a fiberglass pen, but my hands are not up for that, because even in the best of days, the fibres annoy the hell out of me. So yeah, I'm just using the grinding pen. It's a bit abrasive, but this chip, I'm pretty sure, is not going to be working anyway when I finish. While I'm doing this, I will shout out the My Maintenance Massive. They are the top level Patreons. The members this month are Keemon Services, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Russ Mellison, Ricard Bergland, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past on YouTube, Lee Benz, AJ Computer Services UK, Chris Bayans, Victor B, Garen Shaw, and Lady Leona Drury. So a massive thanks to each and every one of you. So I've given this chip a nice good clean, and it still doesn't work. It's still the same as before. Some games work, some games do not. So then I get my multimeter out, and I just want to compare the chips with my multimeter. And when I go to diode test, and when I put my red lead on the bottom right pin, on the working chip, I have a diode reading on every single leg of that chip, while on the faulty chip, I only have a reading on maybe 60 or 70% of the pins. So that says to me that those other pins are disconnected, hence the reason why it's not working. So maybe some of the bond wires have failed on this chip here, or maybe it's been damaged by ESD, but it's definitely 100%, no doubt, a failure with the chip. So there's nothing I can do about this one here, but at least we have the rest of it up and running. So I'm going to show you a bit of gameplay in a minute, but first of all, I just want to take apart one of the joysticks just to have a look on the inside to see what it looks like. Is it done by carbon tracks, or is it done in some other way? Now, okay, so we have a potentiometer there, and also there as well, and it's like that underneath. So that's just a little guide for it to go in. All right, and then there's just a little button. So nothing overly exciting. I was wondering how they did it, but it's on a potentiometer, so it's not on carbon. This isn't on carbon tracks. This is just moving, moving here. Should we see what ohm it is? So let's go between here and here. So that's 80 ohms, but I am putting a little bit of pressure on it. Let's go between here and here. 43 ohms, middle to the edge. 21 ohms, middle to that edge. 29 ohms. So they're different. 46. 40. Isn't that interesting? So it's this one's an 80 ohm one, and this one's more like a 40 or 50 ohm one, I think. Weirdly, I would have thought that they would have been the same. Made in Japan? No way. I think they're Alps. You know, Alps from Xbox and stuff. I think that's Alps here. So even back then, Alps were making. I wonder if does this have stick drift? Look at that, Alps. I think that's Alps. Made in Japan. That's insane. I would have thought that was a more modern company. I like that. Right, at long last, I'm going to get everything back together. Let's end with a bit of gameplay. It's all back together, and all the battery wires and everything are soldered up. You can see it just balancing on the boxes there. So it looks a little bit fuzzy because it's not on a CRT, but I wanted to see if it was in colour, and it is in colour. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got anybody to play with at the moment. Oh, poor Vince. So I'm going to have to go to practice here. If you're wondering about the size of this thing here, well, if I was to go to professional, you can see it gets much smaller. So you can see it's going to be really hard to do that one there. I'm going to go to amateur because that's what I am. In everything. Right, are you ready? So every time it will go past me, the computer will get a score. Every time I hit it, I will get a score. And I have got it on I have got it on the easy speed as well. Oh. Now, obviously, the thing with these is you're looking at it and you think it must be awful. But if there's two people playing, you can just pick it up and you'll probably be nearly as good as each other straight away. You haven't got to learn 100 different movements. And although, yes, it looks bad, gameplay-wise, these things can be fun. In reality, though... Oh, hold on a minute. Why is it 4-0? Oh, why is their score... 1 second now. Why is their score staying and my score's not? Oh, back to 0 again. Ah, maybe it's first to a 10 or something like that. Bear with me, I'm just going to fast forward through this. I want to see if I can actually beat this level. I've got the cheat code. Look at that. My mate Vince is going to win. I think it must be first to 15, would it be? Come on. Don't twitch. Is it 15? What? 15. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, it doesn't go up more than that. Right, okay. And I just want to see what happens when they get to 15. Yeah, game over. Right, okay, so realistically, am I ever going to play this? No, not on my own, but it would be the sort of thing that if I was visiting my childhood friend that I used to play Spectrum with, then it would be a good two-player game to while away a little bit of time while having a chat and a drink, because you haven't got to think too much about it. Personally, I really enjoyed this one here because everything was easily fixable. I enjoyed seeing that the potentiometers on the inside here were made by Alps, and it was nice that it had two faults. You thought it was completely dead. It's just that it wasn't displaying and there was no sound. So the wires has come apart on both of them. Little bit strange, but maybe over the years there was oxidization there which might have ripped them apart. The speaker one is a bit of a weird one because why would two wires come apart at the same time? Unless, of course, when I ripped it open and I damaged my finger, maybe I pulled the second wire off because there was no sound at the beginning but maybe one wire was attached. So yeah, I really enjoyed it there. It's a nice little thing for 1978. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. I'm going to have one go at professional while the credits are rolling. Oh, so close. This is that motorcycle game. You've got to wheelie past these, finish in the quickest time possible. If you go too fast though, it will crash. There you go, under 4 seconds. But look, if I do that, it will crash. Let me do one where you have to jump buses. So these are all buses down here, and you've got to jump them, but you can't land too far. Too far. And this is accelerate. But you can't accelerate too quick. That's nice. So I'm going to let go a little bit. That was a good one. Now another bus gets added apparently. So now there's 9 buses. Oh, now there's 10 buses. Oh. Ease off a bit. Go on. Perfect. Oh, that was nice. Let's leave it on that. Oh, master.